Hopefully this works. I have a decaf latte today with some cinnamon on top. It's also my, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it's my Christmas cat mug. I'm just gonna grab some tissues. Also removed my extra vest because I don't know why. The moment I start filming, like the moment I sit down here and I'm filming, I get super hot. But it's not particularly warm. Like the lights are not that warm. They're not on me. Hopefully someone will come in at some point to let me know if everything is working out fine. Just gonna wait a few minutes. I have a bit of a headache today. I hope it won't be too extreme. I think I'm gonna stretch for a bit. Hold on. Also having to take off my sweater because, like I said, the moment I sit down... Oh, that was my elbow. The moment I sit down, I don't know if it's the early menopause, whatever, but I get instantly sweaty. And it's not like I'm moving extra. I'm just sitting down to paint. Oh, that was a good idea. Stretching like the shoulders, the neck. I tend to get really awful tension headaches from the upper back and neck. And it's really, really unpleasant because I can't even sleep it off. It's worse when I'm laying down. That's the arms. And I'm very crackly. Sorry. Hope this will help. Alright. Thing. Everything seems to be set up properly. Eh. I feel like tension headaches are like the bane of ADHD people. Because the moment you get really into a thing and you just focus on it and you forget to get up and stretch and move around, that's kind of when they happen. I saw that there's no one else for now, so it's just me rambling away. I might make it a thing, like if I do a members only live stream and like half of it, the first hour goes by and no one shows up, maybe I'll open it up to everyone. Got my water bottle. I'll start explaining what I have set up in front of me, and I'll re-explain if people show up. But Auntie Patience sent me a link to a Reddit post where someone was sharing their 6 colors sort of primary setup, primary wheel of colors. And instead of going for a split primary, they instead had a cyan, magenta, and yellow. So that part is you know, the usual. But instead of having a red, yellow, and blue, like split primary, the 3 other colors were the secondary colors. So orange, green, and purple. Sorry. And the person was selling this selection of colors as being a bit easier to use for beginners and not being confusing with the notions of warm and cool color that I know are fairly not intuitive, in my opinion. You kind of have to be thought about them a little bit to fully understand, but yeah, I get it. And then also that having these 6 colors, so 3 primaries and 3 secondary colors, they give you the most vibrant mixes. And I can sort of see that. So far, there's really not much that I disagree with. The only thing that came to mind when I saw this was like, how easy is it to get neutrals then? Or how easy is it to mute a color? Because I feel like that's sort of what I like of a split primary for me personally, is that on hand, I have a selection of colors that I can decide if I want to make a mix that will be more muted, or if I want to make a mix that's going to be extra vibrant. And that's basically the appeal for me of a split primary. So here with this color wheel, how easy is it to get the neutral colors? So I wanted to, first of all, try and replicate the wheel. I got the sort of the same pigments that the person used. For me, I got them all from my Rosa paints because that was the sort of easiest. And I'm gonna do the wheel like the person did. And then I've also set up these 3 sheets where I mix the opposite quote-unquote primary colors. So it would be to mix the yellow with the purple, the blue with the orange, and then the magenta with the phthalo green, and see what happens. I have a bit of an inkling what's gonna happen, but I wanted to put the work in. I think this is a really interesting take on the whole thing, and I might, depending on the results I get from doing this exercise, I might do a brief video on it. Because I think this is a good idea. I think this is helpful for beginners, but what I'm wondering is, at this point, is it worth it to consider adding like a brown to the palette? Not necessarily in the mixing wheel, but just to have it available. Because I feel like this palette is half primary, half quote-unquote convenience colors, aka secondary colors, with the intent of making it easier to mix bright colors. But let's say someone is painting a forest scene or painting a dead tree or something. It's not going to be easier for them to get the proper color for the bark that they need, because they would need this sort of muted brown color. So yeah, basically all these thoughts, and I thought I would, you know, instead of keeping this a thought experiment, I will make it an actual physical experiment. I just need a brush. Would be helpful. I'm gonna grab this one. It is pretty busted, as you can see. But I think wet, it keeps its shape, you know, decently enough. It's kind of frayed when it's dried, but when it's wet, it's still usable. I'm gonna start with the first color. So I've put the colors in this little makeshift plastic palette just for ease of access. So I have them set at phthalo green, phthalo blue, dioxazine violet, the magenta, orange, and yellow. Pretty straightforward. I'm gonna start with the green. So I'm gonna pre-wet the paper a little bit because it will help me avoid touching the side. So that's another sort of issue with this wheel, is that I made it somewhat quickly and it didn't really make it complex in a way. So I gotta be careful so the color don't touch. This is Rosa Gallery's PG7. It is their emerald green, I think, yeah. You can see that the rosa colors, at least this one, doesn't really travel across the paper. I've pre-wet my area and everything, but it stays put rather nicely. What are the paints that I've tried recently that were really zoomy? Oh, it was the White Knights one. Yeah. Alright, so that's one. The next one is my blue here. So I've ID'd the main segments with the bolder line. Hopefully I don't get, you know, mixed up. Oh, I didn't pre-wet it, didn't I? Oh boy. Oh boy, it's gonna be one of those days, I guess. I had just a quick panic moment that I thought I had put the wrong color on the wheel, but no, it's fine. So far, I'm still okay. It's eerily quiet here today. All I can hear is my tinnitus, which is weird and unpleasant. I quite like this Dioxazine Violet. It matches my expectations of a very, very dark mass tone. I always feel cheated when I get a Dioxazine, a purple or violet, whatever, that has a mass tone that is light for that pigment. It would be decent for any other color, but knowing just how far this one can go, when they give me a mass tone that is not the full extent of this pigment, I get a bit bothered. Right, this will have to do. Sorry. You guys get the unclassy live stream. I'm sorry. I mean, we all digest, don't we? Very common human experience of digestion. Digest. Ugh. Bleh. Having a PR 122 here is interesting for me because it's not the magenta I tend to go to. I find it a bit too purpley compared to other available magentas. And I feel like in a standard, a plain cyan, magenta, yellow triad, it is a bit too purpley to play well with the yellow, in my opinion, and to my tastes. I usually try to go for a pinker kind of magenta, which is usually a PV19 or PV42 if I can find it. I had to mention it was quiet, and now the neighbor's walking right over my head. Auntie Patience! Hello! Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Do you recognize what I'm doing? I hope it's working. I'm getting nervous now. Not the painting, the stream, I mean. The microphone. I have to fiddle with my audio a lot more lately. I'm always worried that in the process of doing so, something will be like borked out. I can hear you and I can see what you're doing, and I love it. I gave a bit of context earlier that you sent me the link to that Reddit post, and that it made me ask myself a bunch of questions. And instead of just keeping it a thought experiment, I would make it a practical experiment and just do it myself, just to see what happens. I keep forgetting to wet the area beforehand. Your audio is fine. My fat fingers, on the other hand, cannot operate a keyboard tonight. I won't tell anyone. I'm still on the fence about my general opinion of PO73, the Pure Orange. I mean, I don't know if I like it or not. Kicked myself out of the stream already. It is awful. It is brighter on camera. Keep that in mind. It's a bit more muted in person because the way my setup is set up. I don't know why, but the colors seem to be extra instead of just regular extra. But so far, I don't know what to think. That's kind of where I'm stuck at. Keep looking at the colors and I'm like, what is this? Not that there's any issue with it. I'm just not, you know, I don't usually work with these. I'm gonna start working on the color to the right of the main color. I played around with it a little this afternoon. I wanted to see if the complements grayed out well, and I'm not sure either. Yeah, I've set up sheets to play with the complements after. So once I'm done with the sort of main wheel, my next step will be to check out the complements. Great, what did they say? Great minds think alike? That's kind of the part that I hate of color wheels. Versus, you know, the way I usually mix two colors together and have a range of variations available. It's because I find it difficult to have it be the proper dosage of like the mix. Like, is my mix too blue? Is my mix too green? And then when I've sort of figured it out, then it becomes too diluted. And I'm like, no. And then I look at it and I'm like, oh no, I didn't include every single variant in there. This is not reliable swatching. That's all I have to do, I guess. That should scare you. Right. Next one. I was saying before you came in that I feel like the sort of the mindset behind this palette, I think, is quite, you know, it's a good idea to have a selection of color that's a bit easier to handle for beginners, but it still has the flaw that it's not straightforward how to mix browns or like neutrals, I feel. I have yet to, you know, test it out, but like let's say someone is drawing a tree. Is it gonna be any harder for them to get a brown out of these colors than it would be to paint their tree out of a split primary color that has 2 reds, 2 yellow, and 2 blues technically? I'm not sure it would be easier. That's my assumption. So I was thinking that if someone was to go with truly this selection of 6 colors, I would possibly add a brown in there. Like there's a few transparent brown that I feel would work. And it would at least give a starting point to any beginner that is trying to figure out color mixing. Really not too fond of phthalo green, but I guess it's got potential for some interesting neutral. Yeah, it's the one color that I keep my eyes sort of keep tripping on when I take a look around the 6 main colors. Like I can go like the phthalo blue, the violet, the pink. Okay, I trip in the orange a little bit because I don't think it would be my pick. But okay, orange, yellow, and then I get to the green and I'm like, you don't look like you belong there. But yeah, it's a mixing color. It's really, I mean, all of these are mixing color. I don't think there's a single one in there you can use like straight up. See, that's what I'm thinking too, just from the, I mean, limited or lengthy experience. From my experience, I can tell you that the experience of someone, it doesn't mean much. Truly. The number of times I've seen like seasoned painters say the most just wrong stuff. Not wrong like offensive or whatever, just not true. Especially like with some really basic paint stuff like series and whatnot, and it just floors me every time because I'm like, you. One of them, one time it was a sir, a mister, and it must have been in his 60s. And I was like, dude, how long have you been painting? And you don't know what series refer to? Are you kidding me? Are you for real right now? Oh no, there's a huge truck outside. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't want to start painting anything in case they come ringing here, and then I have to abandon something half painted, which is sort of the worst thing. It wouldn't be too bad in this case because it's just a stupid color wheel, but oh my gosh, when you're trying to do a painting and the doorbell rings and you have to drop everything. No, not pleasant. Okay, so you say royal brown. Yeah, PBR 25, that's a good transparent brown. It is still very, very red, mind you, but it works. Oh yeah, someone's coming over here, hold on. No. Oh well, we might have a surprise unboxing later. Give me a second. There's a chance it could be art supplies, so... Do you really miss Leaf Blower Man? Do you? I don't. I saw him, husband just said that sounds like our house. No! How dare he? Just want to quickly look, since I have them here, my Rosa charts. Just curious to see what browns appear. All of their browns appear to be somewhat transparent. So I guess one could have a bit of a pick. Like the burnt sienna seems to be quite transparent. This raw sienna too. Royal brown, the sepia. They look a bit goopy on this paper, but that's mostly the paper. Paper of the cheap-ass variety. Oh no, the surprised unboxing. Not knowing what's in it. But I mean, sometimes you order stuff and by the time it gets here, it's like, I don't remember what it was. Or you look at the label and there's really nothing to inform you about what's in it, you know? Like it's traveling from a what last mile partner, whatever, and it has an address that makes no sense and no brand information on there, and you're like, I don't know. Surprised unboxing. My husband is convinced we are sold to. I mean, so far, there's a lot in common, right? Isn't one of your cat named Evie? You just described the post delivery here. Dude, it's the same here, unless it's like sometimes perhaps one parcel out of 3 I can tell what it is because either the packaging is like branded or they have the actual brand on the parcel. Like earlier we received a different parcel that's stuff that we got for Black Friday, and it's t-shirts for my partner. And yeah, so it's like, oh, I looked at the bag and I was like, what is this bag? It's a nondescript white bag, but on the label it says brand of t-shirt. And I was like, oh, it's the t-shirts, cool. Yay. But sometimes you get stuff and it's like LSS Inc. as the company, and you're like, I have no clue what that is. Not a single freaking clue. And in my case, sometimes it's stuff companies sent me to do videos. So it's like extra confusing because I don't really have a way of knowing if it's the thing they sent me that finally got here, or if it's something else, or if it's, you know, something that I ordered like a while ago that was took forever to get here. Like there's so many options. So I am glad when I receive that kind of stuff on the days that Mr. E is at work physically. So I get spared the disapproving looks and the questions of like, oh, what is that missing? I don't know. Or like, what did you order this time? I'm not sure. And this is a lengthy process. It is worth it because it's good knowledge to have, but kind of glad I do it during live stream, so it's not just me trying to keep my brain on track. Like, I have to stay on track because I am streaming, but that helps. But sometimes, like, when it's just me and I get like excessively distracted by something, even when I listen to stuff, sometimes it's like you listen to something, and even if it's just like just an audiobook or something, then you hear something in your audiobook and you're like, oh, I wonder about that thing. And it's like a brain worm. Not the RFK kind, the just like the, I have to know what that is. And then you hop on Wikipedia and then you go from one thing to the next, and it's half an hour later and your paint is dry. You know. At ours, it's either my paint supplies or it's vinyl LPs. Yeah, the flat square boxes. Yeah, that's a bit easier to spot. Is he a big collector of vinyls? I mean, it was a thing of our time too when we were younger. Like, vinyls were the thing, but I kind of grew up with vinyls because my dad was really into them and has a substantial collection still. But he does a lot of he will buy or get them from some of his contacts, people he know that are like older, and relative or someone has passed and they have a collection and they don't really know what to do with it. So my dad will, take it from them and go through it and figure out what's worth keeping. And he has contacts of people who are interested in, that genre or that other whatever. So he can sort of sell them. And he likes like going through them and sorting them out. But yeah, I had when I was a kid, I had my own turntable and my handful of vinyls that I would play myself in the basement. Like, if I was in the basement doing whatever kid things I was doing, and I wanted some music, well, I could plop on one of my 3 or 4 vinyls that I had. I think 2 of them must have been Michael Jackson, like Thriller and Bad, and then I had a few that were like humor stuff. He's got several thousands. Oh, that's cool. He's built up the hi-fi system over the past few decades. We retired to a house big enough for the speakers. Was that the selling point? We get this one. I can fit in my speakers. It's pretty hardcore because like thousands of vinyls, that sounds like a lot, but the reality of it is that the way these are made, gosh, this is still way too green. I hate it. Like 1,000 vinyls, it doesn't take up that much space, so you can really like underestimate the amount that there is in any kind of display. It was actually, system is huge. Is it all analog mostly? Like with the amplifiers and the tuners and all that stuff? How many turntables? I know I've mentioned it. My dad is a thinker as well, and he will often pick up audio equipment that doesn't work anymore, like turntables and whatnot. And he's not the most skilled, but if it's a mostly analog system, he can sort of fix it, like clocks, turntables, that kind of stuff. Super crafty. So I think his system is not, you know, extensive, but he always has at least 2 turntables plugged in and rolling. And I don't know how many cassette players. It is cool. It is so much cooler than, you know, putting on an MP3. There's no real experience there, where you really have an experience when you set up a turntable and plop a vinyl on it. Like, that's something. Just one main turntable. Ooh. It's got a portable one to test used LPs. Also the cartridge. Oh, cool. Cool. Like, one is sort of the disposable one and the other one is the fancy one, right? I wish I had a piece of scrap paper. I had all of this scrap paper, but then I did some sort of cleanup. This will do. We have a streamer too, but mainly it's an analog preamp and 3 power amps. Cool. Do you have your own sort of, like, your selection of vinyls too, or that's not necessarily your trip? I don't know if I like it. I mean, I like the color, I just don't know if I like my gradation. I'm kind of bothered with it. I don't know why. Doesn't even look like there's any blue in it. I left all mine in the States, didn't have that many though. He's replaced my favorites as much as possible over the years. That's good. That's really good. We're lucky that it's not too hard to, you know, find vinyls still. It might be a bit expensive depending on where you find it at, but with the internet now, it's you know, there's so many communities that are all around, like vinyl inventory and sending and mailing out stuff to other people. I know my dad sold vinyls for a while. Like, he would find them and look on platforms like Discog or something to see if they were like wanted by anyone. I think one of his best find was a sort of random country music vinyl that he was able to sell for like $1,000. It was a super rare thing, and the disc itself was in decent shape. But yeah, it was like once in a lifetime kind of find. Yeah, I think you get some really nice, like you kind of get a sort of a, it's a bit too diluted, but I feel like this one here, the first step towards the violet, looks a bit like Indian Throne Blue. So like a bit of phthalo blue with a bit of dioxazine violet gives you a really deep blue kind of color. It's just too diluted. Yeah, that was a great find. Really cool. And then he knows like there's a lot of people in, I think it's China, that really like classical music vinyls. So he knows there's a market there for that, and that kind of stuff is just so weird. Like it's not stuff that I would have figured out like if I didn't talk to him. He has his own collection. I think it's mostly like Beatles, Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, and then a lot of French singers. But yeah, it's just like what he likes. Led Zeppelin, that kind of stuff. I personally really like country music vinyls because of the covers. The covers are always freaking hilarious. Oh my gosh, they're gold. He has good taste. I agree, though I'm not a Beatles fan. They have good songs, but oh my gosh, I feel like the bad songs are so bad. We're seeing Robert Plant in Glasgow. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's really cool. Man, my favorite band is from Glasgow. Sometimes I get FOMO just from not living in Scotland because of that. I would blend in. As long as I don't have to talk, I would blend in perfectly. I'm a redhead. You can throw me out there, and I'm no one is gonna bat an eye that I'm there unless I start speaking or swearing or both. And like Otto is always telling me that from where she's at, uh, every time there's like some sort of musical festival, she can hear the concerts from her place, and I'm like, I want that. Who? Oh, I don't. It's post rock. The band is named Mugwai. I never expect anyone to know what I'm talking about when I mention them, but yeah, I really like them. Saw them in concert here a bunch of times when I was much younger. Now I'm a bit too old to really enjoy concerts because first of all they're really expensive and they're all in the fancy venues now. They've destroyed all the the grungy venues. So like your ticket, instead of being like $20, it's now $60, which is harsh. And then you have to sort of, the shows start late and you have to go home after, and the transit stops at like midnight, so it's a bit tricky. We have a couple of their LPs, I'm told. Oh, awesome! Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. High five. I don't have any I don't have vinyls of them, but I have a few CDs and I have one cassette tape. They have the kind of music that, to me, when I listen to them, it's like it goes straight for my soul. Especially like some of the songs. It's not even like it's not an emotional response. It's like on a weird subconscious level that I vibe with the music. And they've been a favorite for a while. And so far, I haven't had to like uh, cut them off for some dubious cancelable opinion. So far, they've been a good gang. I don't do well in crowds because I'm a grouchy old thing, and there are always people in crowds. Yeah, but we saw Gillian Welch and Dave Rawlings a few weeks ago, and it was very nice. I'm not familiar with them. Man, makes me think of Beth Gibbons, that I would also would love to see live. Music. I don't really do well in crowds, and like I like shows, but I kind of don't like being on location. So a trick that I can share with you that's been really cool for me is that a lot of shows are now on YouTube. So that's what I tend to do when I feel like a show, but not like going outside. I check on YouTube for like Mogwai shows, any band, and now it's relatively easy to find like full length shows that have been recorded live, and the quality is also very decent for what it is. So you can kind of get that feeling of a show if you have good headphones, but you don't have to go out and you don't have to pay like $1 bajillion to get there. Folk, country, wonderful harmony. Oh, that sounds nice. I'll have to check it out. Hold on. Do I have pencil? I do not. Well, I mean, I have. Let's go full artist. I have color pencils. That works, right? The pencil is a pencil. Anyone want to fight me on this one? I'm gonna win. There you go. Oh my gosh, finally the last one. My water is gross. It is gray. I kind of like that orange right next to the yellow. Yeah, that one. I really like it as well. I really like it. Ah, finger in paint. Ugh, these greens for me, like, I can find a use for these colors, no problem. But if I have to pick, like, with a bias of what I tend to reach out for the most, these wouldn't be it. They're not muted enough. I like a good, like, super intense, super dark, vibrant but muted green, you know? Like a bit what you get if you take a dark green, like perylene green, and you mix a little bit of transparent yellow, like nickel azo yellow in it. So you kind of make it a bit less gray, a bit less flat, but it's still like really, really deep. I dip my sweatshirt sleeve into. Oh no! Oh shoot! Oh no! What colors? if you save tallow of any kind, your your sweatshirt is now a new color. Or maybe it was a black sweatshirt and you're saved through that, but oh no, that never goes well. You don't have Perylene Green yet. Man, I gotta figure out, like, I'm kind of very spazzy and absent-minded, but I would definitely send you some of the Holbein one if I could remember to do it, because it is very nice, and actually it's my favorite one, and I have a lot of it, so I wouldn't mind sending you some at all. Like, it would be perfectly fine, and you could try it without breaking the bank. Black sweatshirt? Oh yeah! You know what's up. You were ready? Oh, phthalo blue, are you for real? No way! Oh man, you gotta be careful what you wash that sweatshirt with. In the wash. It's gotta be only black, because otherwise everything's gonna have a blue undertone to it. Sorry. Oh, that pesky color. Alright, so aside from the fact that I feel like the mixes around the yellow are never right, I feel like there's so many variations between yellow and whatever is next to it that I feel like I would need like 2 extra spaces here to just make it more smooth. It's not very smooth. And there's some issues with the intensity of some of the colors. I have to look at my stuff. Perhaps I have a bunch of like dry Holbein paint that I could send out. Do you have any Holbein paint at all? It wouldn't be cute, but it would be really easy to mail out, because it would probably fit in a flat mailer or a bubble mailer and be sort of lightweight, depending. It needs, yeah, the greens are very, like, this is, it's nice, but like, I feel like my mix here should be darker. Like, this is not dark enough. Do I want to redo it? Not really. Should I redo it? I could. I mean, it's all in front of me still, so. I have the 24 tube regular set and the, okay. I'll cross-reference with what I have. And I mean, I'll send you photos of whatever I have, and you may tell me what you think of the plan. Would it be the right season to send that kind of stuff out too, because it's dry paint, so it can withstand the cold really well. The heat a bit less so, but the cold, not a problem. Okay, so that's a bit better. Now I feel like this one in the middle is also kind of a bit flat. I think that's a bit better, right? I feel like I have other colors that I need to fix too. I'm gonna start by fixing this one. This one really bothers me. It is really... It's like, it's too light. It's not useful. I feel like swatches of watercolors that are not... don't go like to the mass depth that the color is able to. It's not useful. because it doesn't tell you what the paint can do. I started swatching out the Holbein watercolor pencil. Oh, what's your have you tried like wetting them or wetting one of them? And yeah, watercolor, any kind of pencil, mind you, is very difficult on the fingers, I feel like. Like I did the video about the coloring pencils not long ago, and just in the process of doing my demo drawing of the apples, I was like, oh, this is crampy, like this is hard. It reminds me of crocheting with a bad crochet hook. Okay, that's a bit better. Now this one is kind of flat too. Am I gonna go over all of them? Possibly. But I mean, they're kind of terrible. The drying shift. The drying shift. Which one? This one here looks more like a PV19 kind of magenta. If it looks bright, that's the camera. But yeah, mostly it looks like a good PV19 kind of magenta color. No, like a good somewhat neutral magenta. Not particularly pink, but also not particularly violet. It's getting my neck looking down at the paper. Oh no! Do you have like an easel set up or a desk easel that you could set up, or any kind of yeah, it could be any board that you plop up at an angle. But I know what you mean. It's like I have to be super mindful because I tend to work flat, and then so I look down and I tend to always tilt my head the same way, and then it leads to more tension headaches. I was having a big old rant about tension headaches at the beginning of the video. I kind of like these a little better. I feel like these are flat. These are flat. This one is very flat. Maybe I should figure out a more like methodical way of doing these. Like, say you have, oh, that would be a really interesting exercise to do, I think, though. Is like you prepare a wheel like this with the 6 colors in sort of a mid-range wash. And then what you do is, okay, so let's say you have, these are all the colors with the phthalo green in it, right? These 5. So for the 5 of them, you do 1 pass of the color. And then you do another pass over these 3. And then you do a 3rd pass over the main color. And you do that with every single color. So you have this overlap of all the transparencies. And it would give you some sort of gradation of color that's perhaps a bit more controlled than whatever I have going on here. I was trying to swatch the pencils while we were listening to music in the lounge. My neck doesn't like the... Oh, ouch. Oof. I like that. Yeah, I think it would be a fun experiment to do. I might do it at some point. I don't know if I do it with these colors, it would be interesting to compare. This is gonna end up being like a really extensive video that started just from a the curiosity of a Reddit post. It does make a really pretty wheel, though. It does, it does. It's very vibrant. I feel like of all these colors, perhaps the yellow itself is the most underwhelming one, but it's really good in mixes. It's really pretty in mixes. So I don't know, perhaps I need to redo my yellow swatch as well. It's also a possibility. After I fix the color. I mean, you gotta give me that punch. Because if there is one thing we know for sure with watercolor is that you can dilute them. But you can't make them brighter or darker than they are the mass tone, you know. Gonna use the super clean water to redo the yellow. I think I might have diluted it a bit too much when I did my OG swatch. Either that or it has an impressive drying shift. Isn't it great though to have a medium that you can layer it like that? I'm glad you said that because I was thinking the same thing about that yellow. Yeah. It was a bit flat, right? It was like really light compared to all the mixes with it. Yeah, it fits a bit better, but then again, I feel like you know what I want to do, and I'm gonna do it because I can. I'm gonna try to do it. There, I feel a bit better now. There you go. Now I think the only two that I still need to fix are perhaps these two. I like that. Yeah, it kind of makes my brain feel better because it's like acknowledging that there's more variance between these. And I know, I don't have to keep reminding myself and like bringing this up with my brain. Oh, Jill, hello. Hello, how are you? It doesn't make the turquoise I was hoping it would. What kind of turquoise were you hoping for? Hi, Jill. Do you want me to sort of explain a little bit what I'm doing? Or is it somewhat self-explanatory? think that's better, isn't it? It's nicer. Yeah, I think it works better than it did. Hopefully it doesn't dry with like a drastic color shift. And well, yes, please, what am I looking at? Color wheel, but of which paint? Okay, so the context of this color wheel is that Auntie Patience sent me a link to a Reddit post where someone was sharing on a watercolor Reddit their selection of 6 colors for a sort of beginner palette. Instead of having a split primary selection, so red, magenta, 2 yellows, cyan, and blue, they had dioxazine purple, quinacridone magenta, pyrrole orange, yellow, phthalo green, and phthalo blue. And they were vouching for this selection because they were saying that it's easier to grasp for beginners. They don't have to figure out what's a cool color, what's a warm color, like this weird sort of notion that is not very intuitive. And that this way they can sort of mix the colors they want more easily. And in that aspect, I can agree with that. But also, when I saw the colors, I was like, okay, but for me, the appeal of the split primary is that it's equally easy to mix muted colors if you want that. Like, you can have your vibrant colors if you want, but you can also have your muted colors if you want. So I was wondering, like with these, how easy it is to get muted colors or not. So I decided to do the exercise, and I started with the same wheel that the person made, with the same pigments as much as possible. And now I also want to try mixing the complementaries to see what happens and if it would be the way to get the neutral colors from these. So yeah, okay, start with the yellow and the purple. The purple. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, no problem. But I hope this helps set it up a little bit. I'm using all rosa colors because all the pigments that the person referenced, they have a paint of that pigment within the rosa range. So I was like, that's perfect. I don't have to dig around in boxes and paints and whatnot. I can just grab like this all from the same brand, and it removes like a variable from the experimentation. I don't have to contend for the fact that I'm using multiple brands. I'm just going to be using the one brand. Curious to see how the PR102 and phthalo green mix. Didn't look all that impressive. Doesn't it mix kind of a, it's either a gray or a blue, or a bluish gray. I can do that one after the yellow and the purple. The violet and the phthalo green makes beautiful navy blues. Oh yeah. That's the one. I never remember if it's like magenta and green or violet and green, or like, I know there's a combo that makes blue, but I don't tend to use it all that much. You can also I was able to get some really nice dark blue by mixing the phthalo blue with a bit of the purple too. I used the Schminke yellow, but I may try the rosa. It is technically the same color, isn't it? The PY151 should be fairly similar in terms of color. This is a terrible patch of purple. Oh my gosh, I took a break in the middle of it, and now it's like this very gnarly, terrible gradation job. Come on. Close enough. Sorry. have several limited palettes with similar color, but I haven't tried it going head to head with a standard dual mixing set. I see an experiment in my future. That's awesome. That's the sort of the only way to learn with this medium, is to, you know, experiment stuff. Kind of pretty much what I expect when you mix these two. It is, but my rosa swatch looks browner, if that makes sense. Could well be because of my swatching though. Oh, interesting. Huh. I think I forgot to disable the autofocus. See. Oh no. Oh no. Sneeze. Sneeze or no sneeze? No sneeze? Okay. I think it's gone. Total aside, but that is a very pretty brush. This one? It is a super duper cheapo brush, but I'm glad you like it. It is a crafter's choice from Royal and Langnickel. Yeah, that's true. It matches. they're good. They're decent. Like, I mean, I don't know. Perhaps they're expensive now because who knows? But when I got them, they were fairly inexpensive. So they're sort of my mixing workhorse, like you know, the workhorse kind of brushes that I use for all the more strenuous stuff. You can be a bit rougher with them and not feel any kind of guilt over that. Okay, that's a nice brown. That's serviceable. I'm a sucker for a colorful handle. I know what you mean. I mean, I'm looking at my brushes, my current brushes, and I have these purple ones. I have some of the same range, so they look the same, but instead of purple, it's blue. But everything else is like dark colors or natural wood, which is a bit lackluster. But I think the annoying elitist painter would say that a colorful handle doesn't make for a very serious brush, and like, why does the brush have to be serious? I'm the one painting. As far as it knows, the brush could be painting a butt right now, and it wouldn't make a difference. Like, oh, I like this. Okay, this one is good. I like this one. That's a nice mix. I wasn't sure if it was gonna come out interesting or just like a bit one note, but I feel like there's some really interesting colors here that when you look at them in the context of a gradation or like a mix, it's a bit difficult, but when you sort of isolate one color afterwards, it's really interesting to look at what you ended up creating from these two colors and that context without all the other mixes surrounding it. Because you're like, oh, okay, so all of these, but when you isolate one, you're like, oh, this one is actually a muted green. This one is actually a slightly bluish gray. You know, it's easier to spot what the color is when you don't have all the other colors around it. do I have? I'm looking for something. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, sorry. I just realized that I was sitting for a while there. Ow. There you go. Eh, good enough. It's gonna be weird because these paints don't like to move in the water at all. And I'm using some of the swamp water because while it's not completely translucent, like it has a bit of color to it, it's much easier to see where I've put it and where I haven't. And I don't think it's going to interfere with the mix all that much. Oh. It's not moving. Ah. Okay, well, I'm gonna move it myself, I guess. I'm gonna try to mix stuff up on here a little bit. I want it to be fancy and all, but I'm just gonna have to be very blobby with it. Come on, big puddle, big puddle of whatever this is. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never really bothered doing a sort of mixing swatch like this. My idea was that it would account for more like variations within this sphere of color. But yeah, it's pretty like the paints don't move, so even if I try to like make stuff happen, I would have to, perhaps if I move them myself. Let's, now that this is proper wet, what if I do this? Eh? What if I do this? Kind of looks green with all the yellow there. Oh, sorry. I know some people don't like the fart sound effects. Okay, that's a bit better. Probably gonna be a bit butt-y. But haha. Okay, that's perhaps a bit better. Hopefully, if it continues drying, I hope it dries terribly, like with cauliflowers and everything, because that way it's gonna show me even more what the paint can do. Alright, I'm gonna put this aside. I'm gonna try the Quinn and the Phthalo, and where can I put this? Here. Okay. Yeah. And then I might open the surprise package from earlier. We'll see how long it takes me to do this one. So first color is magenta. Oh, also need I'm running out of plates. It was anticlimactic, pretty much. So far from what I've seen, the Rosa paints are not very dramatic in the way they move over paper. Huh. I've managed to stain my plate with the purple. There's gotta be some wear on the plate at those spots, so that's why the color kind of tainted the unglazed ceramic. Gotta say, the Quin Magenta is satisfyingly transparent color. There's something really pleasant about just how translucent it is. Then the green. I want to design a palette. I can't find one I like. What kind of palette are you looking for? If it's possible to describe it. Sometimes it's difficult to describe that stuff. Good thing because I bought 3 tubes of it the other week. Oh yeah, good question. A physical palette or a selection of colors? Which one? I wish we had more palettes that are made from straight up aluminum. It's lightweight, it's metal, and it doesn't rust. I feel like that's a very winning combo. And I don't really care that the palette is not super heavy, like a steel palette would be. Both, but physical mainly. Hmm. I feel like we're gonna get a gray with this at some point of the mix. So the yellow and purple gave us a brown. The purple, sorry. Is that what I said? The yellow and purple. I don't know what I said. The pink and green. I feel we're gonna get some sort of gray color with these. Is it possible to overwork watercolor on the palette? What do you mean exactly? I don't think it would be, but I'm not entirely sure what you mean by overwork. It's not very gray. It's kind of a very deep muted gray blue, sort of. Very good description. What are you looking for in a mixing palette? I use various sizes of plain white plates. I will mix paint on anything. Really, I'm not picky. Like plates, ceramic is probably the easiest surface to work on, but it's also breakable and can be annoying at times. When I was much younger and painting like as a very ultimate kid beginner, I used the plastic caps from yogurt containers. I didn't care. It's white, worked fine. I was watching Diane Mai's channels yesterday, and she talked about how you need to really activate watercolor in the pan before it's ball. But then she also said not to mix it too much on the palette because that would break down. Oh, that's gobbledygook. I don't know who this person is, but they're tripping. Oh my gosh, what the fudge? What the That's no, nonsense. Yeah, like what Jill says, the whole process of making watercolor paint, you mull it for a long time, for everything to be, like the particles to be fine enough, and then the whole thing to be blended well. What the fuck? Okay, that killed me. What? What, do you have to only paint on a full moon on top of that? Otherwise... I'm not laughing at anyone. It's just the... I did not expect that. Sorry, it's the surprise. That sounds like what they're trying to accomplish is to have barely mixed colors loaded on your brush so it mixes a bit on the paper but lays down. Yeah, that's one of the possible interpretations. And it would sort of account for the perception that if you mix it too much, you get quote-unquote muddy colors, which is not a thing. But that's such a backwards way of going about it. Really activate watercolor. That's... No. Okay, so, I mean, just from experience, okay, when I read that you need to really activate watercolor in the pan before it's usable, that kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to me. What I sort of interpret it as is when you pick up color, even if you use only one color, it's to your benefit. Like I'm gonna do it with the green because I need more green. So if you want to paint with a color and you have it loaded on your brush from a dry pan, it's to your benefit to run it on a mixing area anyway, just so the color is evenly spread throughout the brush and it has reactivated properly. You don't have glumps of it in an area and it's fully like throughout the brush. So that kind of makes sense. That I can understand. As for activating it in the pan, well, you don't really have to. You could go from a dry pan with a red brush and just take one swipe with it because you need just a little bit of that color. That part doesn't make a lot of sense. And yes, if you mix up complementary colors, you do often get neutrals or browns. Or in some people's world, muds. Their brain is mud. She said that too, but this was in reference to using a single color. She said to stir it a lot in the pan, or at least I thought... Oh, that's weird. Because what's the difference? If you can find a video, I would be really curious to see what's going on there. But what is, between you and me, guys, what's the difference between like getting paint from a pan and mixing it in the pan, and then having that same, just one color, and bringing it to a clean part of the palette and mixing it in the brush, that same one color? There's not an actual difference, right? It's just putting paint on the brush. Wow, that's weird. Whoa, I might have a new addition into my tally of weird stuff professional painters have said. Thank you. My question exactly. There's no difference. It's to me, it's the same like people saying that if you have a multi-pigment paint, it's gonna be mud, and single pigment paints have less chance of making mud. It's just, that's not the way this works out. And when people say that, they just demonstrate that they don't understand how mixing color works, basically. You could be misunderstanding, but you could also have understood perfectly fine. And like I said earlier, I've seen quite a few like renowned professional painters have completely the wrong understanding of something related to the medium they've been using for years. So, yeah. I put 2 paint into Panzer palette all the time. Was she trying to reconstitute it? That would be silly, wouldn't it? Like as a general idea, to put down a whole tube of paint, but then every time you try to re-wet it completely. I'm not saying that no one does that, but I just feel like that's a bit of a counter-efficient way of going about it, maybe. Oh my gosh, it's watercolor. It's not... Okay, well... I've seen some people paint with watercolor from tubes the same way they use acrylic from the tubes. Oh, that hurts though! Oh, there's no way these people have like money issues. These people are not on a budget. Holy cow. The one time I've seen someone do something a little bit like that, just a little bit, not to that extreme, but close-ish. It's when Nathan Fawkes paints, and it's because he mixes the watercolors with white gouache to make opaque colors. And he wouldn't like put a big blob of pure paint down. It's just so that when he mixes the watercolor with the gouache, the mix has as few water in it as possible, so it stays quite opaque because of the gouache. But aside from that very specific usage, everything else sounds nightmarish. My early swatches are like that. I didn't understand what I was doing in... Oh, I don't think it's that much paint. Unless you made your swatches like a whole sheet. And also, like, there's so many info of all kinds online. If you are beginning, there's not really any helpful guide on where to start and what to do. So you do the best you can with what you have and what you know. But oh my gosh. We had a lady once that, I don't know if you remember, Jill, but she was trying out Cinelli watercolor from a background of being more of a uh, um, like a I don't remember. I think she did more like, you know, like journaling illustration, that kind of stuff. And she was trying watercolor, and she was under the assumption that the series refers to the quality of the pigment. And I had made a little video, quote unquote, maybe making fun of that a little bit, because I can't with this stuff. It would never cross my mind to come online and say stuff about a medium I'm not familiar with without doing any kind of research or checking stuff beforehand. So whenever I see people who seem to do just that, it just breaks my brain, my poor brain. Because I'm like, why? I mean, people are gonna watch your video and they're gonna get all the wrong information. Why? Why? Like, if it's your first time trying out watercolor, no one expects you to be good at it. No one expects you to be an expert, even if they go to you for classes and whatnot when it's another medium. So why this trying this pretense of trying to, you know, act like you know what you're talking about when you're obviously not, and you're gonna get clocked for it, because people who know what they're talking about, they're gonna, you know, see you do, and they're gonna be like, that's not how that goes. I just ask a lot of questions when I started painting with paints other than Prang and Crayola. I'm trying to remember what I did. I had the cheapest paints available, and then when I started having better paints, I would look at what other illustrators would do with their paints and try to understand how they work. I'm very you figure it out by doing it, but at the same time I love researching how people do stuff. So a lot of it is not from a standpoint of zero knowledge. It's from a partial knowledge that I try to figure out, like to reverse engineer what people do with their paint. And a lot of, you know, actually trying to do stuff and doing a bunch of errors. It's fine. Come on, blob. You gotta blob. You gotta blob more. Trying to dump like a lot of water on it so that I can make it move around a little bit. It's gonna be a big old mess, but that's what I want. I really like the colors you can get. I know they're gonna shift as they dry, but there's something really compelling in the depth of this mix of the pink and the green. I had a store employee kindly explain series and pricing to me. Yeah, it's I don't understand how because it's how does it work out? Okay, not I don't know how to say this. It doesn't come from a place of judgment, but just from a place of my perspective. I do not understand getting in front of a display of professional watercolor tubes and seeing all the different prices and not being curious as to why it is all priced differently. You know what I mean? Like if I get in front of the Daniel Smith display and I see that like the light green color I want is $32 and the other green next to it is 20. I have questions. How does this work? How do you decide which one is what price? And ultimately that leads you to understanding what series are. And that some pigments are, like, series are based on the pigment, and it's like that because some pigments are expensive and some pigments are not, you know. And I cannot fathom seeing that and not, and just say, like just not doing anything with that, not being curious about it. So I'm gonna make a bit of space and I'm gonna open my mystery box. And if it's something really boring, I can do the last sheet of mixing. It's fine. Oh, it is what I think it is. It is what I think it is. Okay, so I'm glad that I got this with you guys instead of all the regular guys. Because I feel like I might, someone might throw stones on me, at me, for this one. Alright. This is gonna be a particularly cursed mini hole. Oh, not all that cursed, just partly cursed. So, what I have here is some cursed paints. And doubly cursed. So, yeah. I don't know, but I don't have anything to say for my defense. I can explain why. What gymnastics my brain went through that got me to buy Daniel Smith paints. But aside from that, I don't have an excuse. So if you have bricks that you want to throw, I deserve them, I guess. And then I have old Mercury Blue stock that was on sale. Okay, mind you, when I got these, I didn't know that they might be problematic. But, yeah. So, here we are. I was really curious about the trios too, and when I started doing my, you know, the swatching I do during the regular stream. Like, I have a lot of the regular colors, and I looked at what I have and what I don't have, and I realized that for most of the other triads, I can replicate with the paints that I already have. But for these two, that are probably the ones that interest me the most, I don't have the iridescent blue, and I don't have the bloodstone for the Stormbreaker, and then I don't have the fake Amazonite genuine for this set. So, yeah. They were on sale at a local shop, so I was like, you know when your brain does that. And then, yeah, these were old Memory Blues, and every single, like each half pan and the tube, they were all $6 each. Canadian dollars, mind you. So that's basically nothing. And they had just a few colors left, and I decided that I would try them out, but that's before, you know, sort of. This one is still de grain. I have both still de grain brown still de grain, half pan and tube. It is a mix of PR 101 and PG 36. So I thought that was interesting. And then Rosso Tiziano. This one is PR 209, so good. This is Viridian. It is PG 18, and then this one is Rosso di Venezia. And it is a PR 101. So it's nothing fancy, but they were really inexpensive. Amazonite is very pretty. Even before the whole Primatech mess, it was one of my favorite. What bothers me about it is that, I mean, I basically just treat it as a phthalo, because it's probably what it is. But it is a really beautiful, like, natural kind of teal color. It doesn't feel over the top like a cobalt teal would be, or PB16 that is a bit too, like, intense. It's just this right, perfect middle between everything. The tube here is still brown steel de grain. Hey, they're the most local company to me, manufactured about 25 miles from my house, so no shade from me. I talk so much poop about these. But yeah. I wouldn't have bought them if I had, if I had pans of these colors, I wouldn't have bought these sets. But I really like the triads, and I'm interested in trying them like on their own, not with other colors. So that's that. And yeah, these were on sale. So I tried to go for colors that I don't think I have any other color that's a mix of PR 101 and PG 36. So that was interesting. And then the PR 209, I think, is discontinued pigment. Or is it 206? Anyway. And then these two, I had asked for other colors before, but they were out of stock. So they were like, can we replace them with these? And I was like, yeah, sure. Let's keep it simple. And then I have 3 polychromos. And that was my bowl of shame. Okay, the polychromos are not shameful particularly. But the thing with Memory Blue is something that I was talking about with Auntie Patience, and then Daniel Smith. Every single person who has watched one of my videos probably knows that. Yeah, they are Faber-Castell polychromos. I have we could swatch these, right? These are sort of easy to just swatch right away. I wanted a trio of color that could possibly work on their own. So I have dark indigo. It's kind of very grayish blue color. This one is Pompeian red. So a slightly muted reddish pink. And then burnt ochre, or a somewhat muted yellow. I had to pick from like online swatches, like, so I kind of picked a bit blind, but I think that's interesting. Definitely serviceable. And so far they seem to not have the issues I have with, oh, they're quite smudgy though. Blech. But yeah, I'll see. I wanted to go to the Faber-Castell factory when I was in Frankfurt, but didn't have time. Aw. I mean, you're in Europe, so you have a higher likelihood of going than, let's say, me or Jill. But it's always a bummer when you visit some place and you don't really have the time to do everything you want. This is how this one is looking so far, and I'm really happy that it has cauliflowered. I want messes. I want to really like see the worst of the situation with the paint. And I'm probably gonna do the last sheet on my own. And I'm gonna end it here. I really need to drink more water, stretch, and take a lozenge. And don't tell anyone that I got brand new Daniel Smith, please. No, everyone's gonna know soon enough, but you know. Oh my gosh, these are so small. They're baby tubes. Okay, so for context, here in Canada, I have never seen a place that sells the 5 ml tubes open stock. It's always been the 15 ml. So these look excessively tiny. They're like baby tubes. in a little baby box. Oh, thank you so much, guys, for being here. I really appreciate it. And then those other baby tubes. This one I'm excited because it's such a... Like, I would love to find a person who came up with this trio and thank them personally, because they have a bit of whimsy in their brain. But yeah. Thank you so much, Jill. Thank you so much, Auntie Patience, for being here. It was enjoyable, and we'll keep the DS stuff secret. Thank you. Oh yeah, the 5 ml tubes are miniature. That's so weird. They look smaller than a third of the size of the other, you know? But it's gonna be fun to try this out. And if I stumble upon something that I cannot live without, well, I can buy the larger ones eventually. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much again. Have a great rest of your day. And we might see each other on Saturday. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, take cake. Sorry, take cake.